China's 15-year plan is now out in the open. It talks about 2035. 45,000 kilometers of high-speed rail, 800 million people lifted out of poverty. But now comes the big question. Is it the world's smartest long-term strategy? And this plan doesn't talk about tomorrow or next year. It talks about 2035, about where China wants to stand in the world. More powerful, more advanced, and completely self-reliant. Welcome to Wantstats. Today we are breaking down this long-term strategy, what's inside it, where it began, and whether it can really change the future. China has been creating 5-year plans since 1953, but everything shifted in 2006 when China stopped planning only for 5 years and started thinking in 15-year timelines, especially in science and technology. And that decision changed everything. In the year that followed, China built the world's largest high-speed railway network. Over 45,000 kilometers of high-speed rail already in operation and moving towards a target of 60,000 kilometers by 2030. It lifted almost 800 million people out of extreme poverty, the biggest poverty reduction in human history. It became the world's top producer of electric vehicles, solar panels, wind turbines, and batteries. All because China doesn't just react to the future, it plans for it. Now, the next phase of the plan is here. From 2026 to 2030, China will follow its 5-year plan. But this only the middle part of much bigger 15-year journey that ends in 2035. And the goal of that journey is something China calls socialist modernization. In simple words, a rich, secure, tech-driven China that depends on no one. So what exactly is China planning over the next 15 years? The first focus is technology and innovation. China wants to make its own chips, its own AI, and its own aircraft engines, space tech, and military systems. To do that, the country is pouring money into research like never before. In 2024, China spent over 3.6 trillion yuan on research and development. That's more than the GDP of many countries. Its R&D intensity, the share of GDP spent on innovation, reached 2.68%, the highest China has ever recorded. The second focus is clean energy and climate. China is building the world's biggest renewable energy system. By March 25, China's wind and solar power capacity reached 1.48 terawatts. And for the first time in history, it became larger than the country's coal-fired power capacity. This has never happened in China before. The target is clear. Carbon emissions will peak before 2030 and China aims to become carbon neutral before 2060. The third focus is changing to the structure of the economy. China doesn't want to depend only on real estate and construction anymore. It wants more consumer spending, stronger services, startups, digital businesses, tourism, and innovation. By 2030, China wants 70% of its people living in cities because cities create jobs, ideas, and economic power. But alongside all this progress, there is a major challenge. China is getting older. Its population is shrinking. So this plan also includes better pensions, healthcare, childcare support, digital hospitals, and smart elderly care. Now let's understand the scale of what China has already done. Over 45,000 kilometers of high-speed rail carrying millions of passengers every day. Around 800 million people lifted out of poverty in 4 decades. Almost 3/4 of global poverty reduction in that time. Every day, China installs massive amounts of solar and wind energy, more than what many countries could add in an entire year. But now comes the big question. Can this 15-year plan really work? China has big strengths. The world's largest factory network, strong supply chains, record spending on innovation, and the fastest growth in renewable energy on the planet. But it also faces serious challenges, a declining population, a real estate crisis worth trillions, youth unemployed, and pressure from the United States and its allies on technology and trade. Experts say China may no longer grow at 8 or 10% like before. Growth may slow to 4 to 5%, but if it keeps investing in innovation, clean energy, and technology, it can still reach most of its 2035 goals. Maybe slower, but steadily. So what do you think? Is it the world's smartest long-term strategy? Tell us in the comments. This is Indu Tyagi and you're watching Wantstats. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next deep dive. Till then, stay tuned to Wantstats for the news and stories that matter.